think we better start because we have a time limitation. We have to finish in 55 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Dear friends, very welcome. We will start with our friend, dear Klaus Samber. He is the chair of the coordination team. Dear Klaus, the word is yours.
Okay. Welcome to everybody, and I'm afraid that everything goes very well. We have just received more than 40,000 signatures already now in all countries together. And so I think we will have a good meeting on Saturday this week. That is the 5th European coordination meeting. And we expect more or less from each country a coordinator, a national coordinator. And one point perhaps we have get a new one from Sweden. That is, I had a conference with him today. It is Adam Lindstrand, and he will join us in the Saturday meeting and promised very much signatures for Sweden in the future. So that was my short introduction, and I hope everything is going well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Klaus. Dear Ivailo Krylov, would you like to say a few things? You are the one who made this idea.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I thank you so much to dear Lee for organizing this. We spoke together with him, and our opinion is that it's very important, all of us, to exchange and learn from our experience. And in this moment, it's very important all over the world to use it, the ECI-UBI, and also ECI-UBI to use it all over the world, everybody, every citizen to learn about what we are doing. And I want to give just one example that what we can do. In this moment, we know that the media, the mainstream, somehow they're not telling to give space to us, but here in Bulgaria, with the small regional channels, we can connect with the citizens. I'm speaking small channels in the radio station for the small towns and small villages. They have their own media. And this is one experience what I want to share, and I want to show to everybody what we can do to share experience like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivailo. Dear friends, before starting our meeting, I would like to give few information. I would like to say a few details about the future meetings. I have a slide for this. These meetings, I mean, the best practices during UBI advocacy meetings will be held monthly on third Monday of each month. And the idea is to support the ECI-UBI and also to support the UBI movement. During our first meeting, which is today, we will, our guest will be Michele Gianella from Italy, and his topic will be social media campaigning for UBI. It will be an interesting one, I'm sure, because I had the chance to hear partially of his presentation. In November, our guest will be our dear friend Enno Schmidt from Switzerland. His topic will be lessons learned from Swiss referendum for UBI. It will be another, I'm sure it will be another interesting session. And the third one will be in December, and our guests will be Valentin Reimer and Caroline Schäfer from Germany. And their topic will be worksite idea. These ladies, they are both marketing professionals before, and at the moment they are trying to use their expertise during campaigning for UBI. So this was the information regarding today's meeting and the coming two meeting. That was all from me. So Michele, word is yours. 1 second, Michele, and maybe you would like to share, I guess.
No problem.
Okay, word is yours, Michele. Thank you very much.
Okay, so So, thank you very much. My name is Michele Gianella, for those who don't know me, and I represent for Italy the European Citizen Initiative for the introduction of unconditional basic income. In this short presentation, I will share a bit of my past experience, where we are now in Italy, the point we are at in Italy, and a few possible suggestions for the future. So the story that brings me here begins about 8 years ago. I spent a lot of my times in the past years following a format of conference called TED. Maybe you already know about it, which is a conference focused on topics like technology and design. And in one of these conferences, I met this guy who was among the speakers, who had just written and was introducing a book about technological unemployment. A few hours later at the cafeteria, I had a chat with him. I discussed about this book. I discovered he had written the book in English, but no one had already translated this book into Italian, and I offered to translate it for him. The result was that I delved into the topic. It was my first deep introduction into the topic. And it made me fully aware of what was about to come in the very foreseeable future about the technological unemployment, which was something I was not absolutely aware of before. That book alarmed me, and I started looking for solutions, of course. And basic income soon seemed to me the most reasonable, the most sensible solution. So I basically started two main activities. The first thing was this. Basically, over the years, these TEDx conferences hosted a number of talks about basic income. They are about 15-20 minutes talks. I watched them all together with my peers, translated them all, and I'm happy to announce that they are soon available, at least subtitled in English and often in a number of other languages. And at this address you can read the list, and they are a very good instrument for introducing unknowledgeable people right onto the social media. The other thing I did was getting in touch with the basic income community, with those in Italy and in Europe that was already actively campaigning about basic income. I went to Berlin, in the manifestation in Berlin, and I became aware of the tool of the European Citizen Initiative, which was another thing I was not aware of. I tried to help, I tried to do my part to collect signatures from Italy in the very last months. As you all know, it didn't go well, but probably it was not the right time yet. But at least I got in touch with the community, and we keep talking each other all over these years. So then 7 years came in the middle, where the world suddenly changes, you know better than me. I started noticing support on basic income from the most unexpected people, from movie stars, from top-tier entrepreneurs, and we even witnessed the endorsement of basic income from one candidate to the presidency of the United States. That, of course, gave me the motivation not to drop the ball over the years. And when I heard that the meeting was about to take place in Vienna in October 2019, I was happy to join, and I became and I took the representation from Italy. The preparation period started, but I had a hurdle to face. Basically, I work together with my family in the energy business. I make paint for the energy business. And because of that, during the lockdown, I did not shut down because I was deemed strategic. In the meanwhile, the European Commission accepted the proposal of ECI, so I basically had to build a national campaign. So I had a lot of work to do. in very little time. And I had to find a solution to reconcile these two opposite needs. And I found the solution basically in making an intensive use of automated tools like Hootsuite and Zapier. I started making an intensive scheduling of the post. I started posting daily content to the two Facebook group I have editor privileges for, among which the first main tool that I used was a countdown. I started counting back from the 25 September backwards, and starting 100 days before, every day I started posting an image like this in order to build the momentum and in a sense raising the temperature, hoping that in 100 days people would have noticed this tool, talk with this friend, and get prepared when the signature collection was about to start. Another tool I intensively used was the Basic Income Quotes, which is a Facebook group and also a YouTube channels. The Basic Income Quotes, if you count them, I had downloaded them all. There are like more than 800, but most of them are basically same images reposted, and the original ones are like 200 to 250. I isolated them all, translated on the strings, and started publishing every single day a quote with this Italian translation, informing people that the signature collection was about to come. And another third source of content was the YouTube Human versus Machine, which basically shows a traditional human job, and aside the robotic equivalent one, in order to raise the attention, as I said, about the technological unemployment and the impellent need for an unconditional basic income to cope with the social disorder that will arise as a consequences of it. All this until the 25 September, when the signature collection started. Now, almost 2.5 weeks have passed since then, and and I'm here to share with you some quite flattering, some promising results. Just to say one thing, the very day after the signature collection, I mean at 9 AM of the 25 September, the website of Beppe Grillo, the founder of the 5-Star Movement, which is also a declared supporter of the basic income, unbeknownst to me, I hadn't asked him directly, I hadn't asked him, he did it all by himself, wrote an article introducing all the details of the European Citizen Initiative, and he has made a permanent banner on his website, which is a lot of traffic on the web. So this gives us a great help. Then the Bean Italy came to the rescue, the Italian division of the Basic Income Network. They had built they are dealing with basic income, of course, for decades over the years, and they have a network that is much richer than mine. They have like 10, 15,000 connection, and right shortly before the start of the signature collection, and especially in the early days after the beginning, they started posting a lot of content, tagging a lot of people, and informing a very number of people that the new European Citizen Initiative was ongoing. Plus, I had the pleasure to see other people join in, other people I absolutely never met before. Just to name a couple of examples, I got in touch with Massimo, which is a private citizen, as far as I know. He has no affiliated to political party or association, who in these days had started a petition on change.org asking for universal income in Italy. But when he got aware of the European Citizen Initiative, he used his social media muscle, so to say, to help the European one as well. And basically every day he posts some content to his 2,500 and quickly growing number of people who like his Facebook page, to inform about the initiative. The result of all these promising start can be seen in this meme that maybe some of you have already seen in the Facebook page. Just to make a comparison, just to make a benchmark, in the 2013 European Citizen Initiative, we collected 4,531 signatures in a full year. We reached the same number of signatures in the World Poverty Eradication Day 2 days ago, just 22, 23 days after the beginning, okay? It's a small milestone. There is still a very long way to go, but let's say it's something to be quite proud of. The open question, as you can easily understand, is what now? Because even if we are very happy for the pace of signature that we are collecting now, we make no mistake, and we are sure that the forces that are driving this fast collection will be over in the short future. And to be more clear, let me show you this graph. This graph is extracted by Grafana. Maybe you all know it's basically a parallel website that collects the data from the signature collection country by country and plots them in personalized graph. The graph that you see here is basically the progression of the signature collection over these days. And in a sense, if you think about it, this graph is dramatic. Look at the red line. If you see below if you had to draw two line trends, one before and the other after the red line, the red vertical line, at the right the trend is much slower, and the red line is only at 27 September of 2020. So basically we had a rampant beginning, but this fast pace only lasted for about a couple of days, which of course leads me to think, me and other people like me in Italy and others, to think that probably that was the rush of signature from the hardcore of basic income supporter across Italy who would have probably signed everywhere. The very challenge now is to keep this pace, to regain this pace, this trend, from people who were not very well aware of basic income, or maybe they were hostile, but they are hostile now, and they have to be reconquered. It's an open question how to do that, and probably an exhaustive explanation would take hours. And we don't have now that much time. I can only basically share with you a couple of technological tools to consider, a technological policy to consider, and in the next slide, a couple of social actions to consider. And then let's see how the debate goes on among us after the presentation. So one technological tool to consider is something I had already talked with Ali before. It's a thing called the Thunderclap. Thunderclap is it's a tool we have used in the, I remember we have used in the 2013 ICE. It was the name of a website that no longer is there as far as I know, but basically it was taking your Twitter credential and it was posting a given content on your behalf at the given moment, together, and that's the real point, with potentially thousands of other people. So basically it was a way for, I don't know, 10,000 people to say, okay, let's post a tweet about basic income on that very day at 10:36 p.m. That of course would cause, if enough people join in, that of course would cause a surge of the interest of basic income in the trend topics. So even more people who are extraneous or are not particularly interested in that topic would join, and that might be a way, of course, of spreading the word. I don't know, this website, the last time I checked, it was not there anymore. But the idea should be reconsidered, should be reuptaken one way or the other. And if you have the knowledge, the skill to do so, I highly recommend it. The second largest, the biggest consideration I have to make is coordinated communication. Let me explain a little bit further. The first thing I'd like to ask is a shareable source file. Is something I have talked about with Andwells in the past also. If you have seen their social media, the Spanish community offer to the public a very large quantity of content like flyers, brochures, and stuff. It would be nice if you could have the source file with the layer of the image and the layer of text. So a person from another country can just translate the text and have the content ready to be ported into their own community. There is not, as far as I know, an official repository for all this kind of source file, and it would be a good thing to have one. Another thing could be a standard message for new volunteers. This is something I discuss a lot for Italy. When you go to the website, some people, some friends of mine who are also webmaster for a living say, okay, I have signed, no problem. There is a form where you can volunteer. I'm afraid that some people might mistake the form for volunteering with the form for voting. And if you have a rush of people who sign for volunteer, maybe just have people who had in mind to vote. And in this convenience, especially if we somehow reach to build momentum, there will be a rush of people who will go there. And you have to have some sort of standard message to cope with the traffic of incoming emails. Having a standard welcoming one with all the information that are needed might be of help. Again, a shareable folder, the database of translated material I already talked about. We have, together with volunteers and the people who join me, we have built a Dropbox shared folder with all the content I have discussed about so far. We have the presentation video, we have the QR code, we have a lot of flyer, a lot of drawings, etc. Another small thing I might invite you to consider, this is the standard HTML signature for national email addresses. This is a suggestion that came from another voter. He said, okay, but if you had a more under quote professional appearance like an HTML signature, the message would gain even more credibility. And something, the last line is the Stanford University's informative sheets. This is something I was not aware of, and they were shared with me by Massimo, the guy I was talking about. He discovered that in the Basic Income Lab of the Stanford University, there is a series of these informative sheets that basically that are short dissertation that offer an answer to the classical objection that are raised against. Will basic income make you lazy? Will basic income cost too much? And so on. Now that I told you about the technological action, it's time to let me wrap up by taking the social action. And even here, the main advice I have to suggest you are two. Now that the hardcore of strong basic income supporter is quickly depleting, I set my mind to go visiting Facebook communities that are, one, unrelated to basic income, but two, very, very large. An example is the one you read in the second line. It's called Flash Mob, Let's Upload Italy. Flash Mob is basically a Facebook group that an expert in marketing and communication opened right after the lockdown, so that people from all over the country could share his experience, his daily life also, etc. And so it opened just 8 months ago. And the last time I counted, he had something like 650,300 people. And the moment I discovered that, I started posting one small post every day about basic income. I got unnoticed for weeks. People just people were sharing, I don't know, a slice of chocolate pipe, 300 likes. I was sharing a post about the European Citizen Initiative against the social crisis, and nobody seemed to care. Anyway, I was stubborn, and day after day, I keep posting some small comment, and little by little, I'm noticing that the interest is rising. The other thing I was considering is to seek help from national and continental bodies. By now, the communication is typically one-to-one. A person signs, suggests to a friend, who refers to a friend, who refers to a friend. We have to, at least in Italy, other people like in Bulgaria, for instance, are much better than us, or at least than me. We have to find an effective way to communicate one-to-many. In Italy, we have millions of unemployed people. Not every one of them will like unconditional basic income, I guess, of course. But it is sensible to assume that the larger percentage will do. But there is no an official website with the list of unemployed people to communicate one-to-many. We have to find a way to do exactly that. Another thing we have to do are the largest media outlet, like the national TV news, and we already have made a small progress. A few days ago, a magazine published a story about an image about universal income in the first page, and that first page went into the night news. Night news, not many people watching it, but that's a start. My medium long-term goals, of course, is to go prime time, and I'm confident that with a dedicated effort, sooner or later we will. Aside from the media outlet, we should ask help from national parties and also for the transnational organization that are at least Europe-wide. An example, for instance, is Fridays for Future and Extinction Rebellion, because there is a strong and proven link between the ecological crisis and how a basic income would help. I also got in touch with the Pirate Party, which is a very small party in Italy, but much like Five Stars Movement, they have the basic income right into the official agenda. And the other one is the European Greens. In Italy, the Greens do not have, as far as I understand, a strong stance in favor of basic income, but in the rest of Europe they do. So one line of action might be to call the Italian Green Party and ask them to have a stronger stance of it, and ask us to help in getting the signature. I invite you to do all these things because, and that's a strong message I'd like to convey, small communities matter. I mean, you basically don't know. Some groups are more likely to help than others, but you don't really know what group will make a difference in starting the positive trend in signature collection. The world is full with relatively small community of like 50,000, 60,000 people, which in absolute number are small. But if you can convince at least one of them to adhere, to join en masse to your cause, you have made a very big step forward. And that's what I'm trying to do and that's what I set my mind to do from now on. So, as you can imagine, it's just the beginning of the long journey, and it's been a great joy to share this with you today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Michele. Michele, I'm sure there will be questions from our friends. Thank you for your presentation. But before, in the chat box, there are a few things I would like to say. One of them is from our dear friend Claudia. He says, is it possible to receive the link of the TEDx archive here at the chat box? But I guess it's also in the presentation.
Yeah, give me 1 moment. I give you right now.
Okay. And also, I would like to inform all our brethren, all our friends that the presentation is in your email box at the moment, because Michele already sent to the UBI Advocates at googlegroups.com. So you have the copy of the full presentation already there. And we recorded the presentation. It will be shared through YouTube too. And there are a few other things, but maybe they will say by themselves. Okay, dear friends, who would like to ask any question to Michele, or who would like to contribute to his presentation?
Just let me share the proper URL. Okay, that should be the right one.
So the first one is, we will not consider it. We will use the second one in the chat box. Okay, thank you very much. Any questions or contributions? May I ask two small things? Because I had the chance to talk to you. We had a long chat before. I know that you are using these basic income codes and human versus machine video recordings a lot. These basic income codes is very good. I mean, because with celebrities and with certain small text, and I know that you are able to share it. Do you think it might be a good idea to have this in 24 different languages for the ECI-UBI? So once we have it, it will be, it can be used all through the campaign. And the second one is human versus machine, the links of these recordings. Maybe it might be a good idea to use it all through the campaign in 27 countries too.
Absolutely. So it would definitely be a good idea, and it also could be agreed, could be built in very little time. I can share with you or with the group the Excel spreadsheet that we already wrote with the speaker, the original quote, and the Italian translation. You just have to add columns, language by language, and you can and you are all set. You can do everything else on your own and start building your basic income quotes center media campaign. This is one thing you can do. Speaking of human versus machine, there is one more thing you can do. A few months ago, I basically watched one by one and sorted the mute ones from the spoken ones. And I discovered that there are, the last time I counted, like 200, 250 short videos of human versus machine. Roughly half of them are muted. They just show the human job and the equivalent robotic one. The other one are spoken one, and they are very, 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 very quick. They last at 40 seconds, 2 minutes at most. So you can, it is also feasible to translate one by one and start your campaign with this stream of video as well. I haven't started doing it yet, but I set my mind to let the mute videos finish, which will happen, I guess, until the end of December. And then I will start posting the spoken ones already captioned in Italian. And I will caption this using a platform that is called Amara, which is the very same platform that is used for the TEDx talk. So I made my expertise with it. And Amara allows you to from original subtitles to translate it into virtually as many languages as you want. So I can transcribe the original English text, translate it into Italian, and then give the Amara link so that people in every language can take the English and translate in his target language. This is another thing that can be done. It can be done with a relatively small margin and effort, and it would be another source of compelling content. So yes, I highly recommend it. I hope I have answered your question.
Michele, in fact, I know your answer because I had the chat with you. Is it possible to have a kind of procedure how to use these archives? I mean, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, because in our other meetings, we are receiving such requests from our friends. They would like to follow these steps and have a result.
Okay.
That's great.
There will be basically 2 different jobs to do. One job to do will be to write the subtitles. The other one will be to basically print the subtitles on the frame if you want to, or find a way to make the subtitle appear on YouTube and then give the YouTube link. This is typically done by 2 different people. I mean, translators have a skill set and social media managers have another. But yes, okay, I can write it down on a best practice document, no problem.
Great. There's a question from dear Claudia. Claudia, please.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. My question was, this list is great. It has a lot of links and it's a very useful list. The TEDx list I was talking about in particular, and of course your whole presentation was interesting. So for this TEDx list, I was wondering if it was already playlisted in any of our YouTube accounts. Because if it's not, I probably will do it on the Revenu de Base Montréal account.
There are too many. Tens of people around the world is interested in basic income, but they don't know each other, and each one made a personal playlist. So I decided to make an external mine that I'm in control of. And
okay, you don't have a YouTube account. So
yes.
So if you have a YouTube account, it's really easy to add all those links. It will go really fast with your list. I can do it. So I'll just, link, like every time I click, I add it to my playlist and add to the playlist and add to the playlist. And so they'll be all listed and available, and you can make this playlist public.
Fantastic.
So that's very useful. We can all do it on our particular YouTube accounts. As many as there are is going to be just as good.
Okay.
There doesn't need to be one that is shared. We can all do it, and on each our YouTube account.
Do you also have a notification system that when I update the list, you get notice of it?
Unfortunately, you would have to do it on Google Spreadsheet for it to work. Google Doc doesn't do notifications, unfortunately. But Google Spreadsheet does. So you can, when you open it, you can say, I want to receive a notification every time there's a change. And that could be very useful. And we could maybe make it collaborative, so we could all add things to it.
Fantastic. I tell you because there is another one which is not still in the list because they haven't published the English subtitle, of Götz Werner, which is very well known in the German community, the head of the supermarket.
Okay.
And I will add it shortly, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, maybe a separate list for that, the list for German language and yeah.
There are in English, so far there are in English, in Spanish, in French and Portuguese, and this one in German. I don't know if there are others in less popular languages, I don't know, Kannada or Marathi or Hindi. Mm-hmm. But as soon as as soon as I'm aware of it, I will try my best to port them into English at least.
Okay, maybe it would be good if we would do a common spreadsheet to, we could just put the main languages, click it and add a column for other, and then so we can
Okay.
sort right away when we need to have languages and stuff like that.
Sure.
So do you wanna do that thing, or do you want me to do that? I can help if you need.
Okay, as you please. We can arrange it later and then discuss in the
Right.
advocate community.
Yes.
Okay. But it's a sensible thing to do the spreadsheet. You can even add much more information and you can sort them. So yes, you raise a good point.
And playlists on YouTube. I really insist on that. Everyone who has a YouTube account that is related to UBI should somehow have a playlist of these, in like this very good list of videos. It's really interesting.
Okay.
To share.
Anyone else?
Any other questions, dear friends?
Yeah, I can't put my hand up. Can you hear me?
Oh, Peter, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm in the middle of doing a Facebook illustration project which has been getting sponsored. Now, my question is to from my view of the Facebook rules, there's a P2P ability within Facebook, and there's also the Facebook gift card. And I'm wondering whether or not, to me, ideally, I want all donations or sponsorship to go directly back to Facebook to continue their advertising. So someone puts $20 into the advertising sponsorship, and they can say, I want to advertise your Facebook page in this place. Can you talk me through how to best do that? I'm having some trouble. The charitable trust that I had lined up and presented to run this thing has fallen over. I haven't heard why they've pulled out. So I'm just wondering what the rules are, whether or not we can do it so that Facebook itself organises that advertising. Michelle, have you got any answer towards that?
Okay, the audio was a bit disturbed in here. I know that you were asking about the Facebook advertisement machinery, right? I can share it with you if you're okay. If you're happy with that, I can share with you my experience with Facebook advertising. I did some, especially during the countdown, precisely in order to outreach, to reach people who were unrelated to the basic income. Shortly speaking, it didn't go well. Why? Because people who are not very opinionated about basic income don't talk. People who are supportive of basic income, they watch it and say, okay, yes, I like it, and go away. People who are against voice and write typically negative comments. Plus, of course, they are also poor quality negative comments. They don't say, I'm opposed to basic income for this and other reason. They say, no, you are slaves of Europe. This sucks. I want to work, as it was opposed to work. I mean, the same criticism we are getting tired of. So this bad experience basically discouraged me to go on with advertising content, at least until I learn how to target better the advertising.
Michelle, can I just say what the results are so far? So it costs 1 cent to put an ad on someone's Facebook page. We've had 51,000 people receive the ad. 21% of the people have opened the Facebook illustration. We've got a couple of hundred likes. We've got 64 letters that are attached to the page, has been signed and sent to the government. there's 300 conversations, and I really do take your point about the negativeness. I've been called a communist so many times, and at the end, you answer it once, and you say, "Oh, look, I've answered it perfectly," and then someone will make the same comment in the next round, and it is quite frustrating. But in amongst that, if you look at the history of the conversation, some people have taken the conversation where it needs to go, and you can make strong and valid points. So to me, the conversation is critical, because it gets less as you go on, because people can see that the things are being covered. So I am actually quite excited by the results that I am getting from it. At the moment, it's costing $100 a week, but it's 64 letters that have gone to government requesting a UBI, and to me that to me is gold. We've got the government getting pestered now, so to me it is a way forward. I have got the same advertisement for Europe, for each of the areas in Europe. So there's 9 different pages. The one I'm doing now is can also be put into Canada and Australia. So I'm looking at moving the same thing into those areas. But the problem is this is my birthday money that I've used to sponsor the page, and my birthday money it's running out, you know. So if I can get the donation thing up and running. The charitable trust, we do have another charitable trust, but it's been defunct for a long time, so we have to get back to the trustees. We're looking at it. I can set a company up in 24 hours and run it through a company. Really, it gets down to the rules, the Facebook rules, which allow I've had a look at some of the exclusions, and we pass all the, you know, there's no negative content, there's no violence, there's no sexual content. It's simply UBI. So I think we tick all the normal boxes, and there's not a profit content involved in the thing. So if we could get it straight to Facebook, though, instead of having a separate bank account, and I thought the gift card might actually work. So to me, it's a way forward, and it to me will certainly help the European initiative to get your signatures as well.
Okay, that's a very interesting experience to share. I will take note for the future. I cannot really tell you, as from my side, what the consequences are of my paid advertisement in terms of signature increases, because I did them before the start of signature collection. So I cannot tell you I made a paid advertisement and I get X more signatures the day after. I was also considering, because it paid off actually in the 2013 ICE, some sponsorship of the official video on YouTube. For some reasons, I get much more qualified answer on YouTube than on Facebook. Last time. I will. I haven't taken the decision yet. I will probably over the next few weeks, and next time we meet, I will tell you how it's going.
Thank you very much, Michele. Dear friends, any other questions or contributions to our dear friend? None, I guess. I would like to say something regarding the sponsored posts in Facebook. We did use it several times in Turkey, and it was very, very useful. And we were able to reach to some people that we will never be able to reach. So it really works. And the money we paid, I mean, they deserve it. I mean, this is what our experience is. So if there are no other questions,
can I
Michele, please. Please, Ryan, please.
Yeah, okay. In France, we began this kind of campaign in Facebook but for the moment we don't have some very important results. But what we know in our Facebook, what is highly different from 2013, is that the far left and far right are more active than us in the social network and knows how to work it very efficiently. The problem is that this population are getting big. And every time we try to engage a huge campaign alone, we've got more negative comments than positive one that we can wrote. So for us, the campaign on Facebook has become very difficult because in France, the basic income has now a political color quite identified by the political spectre. So for us, in fact, I appreciate your presentation. If we want to have some efficient campaign on the social network, we're going to have to gather some other kind of organization that could that could publish some call for signing more efficiently and to another public than we can target ourselves. That's why for us, it's quite difficult from the 25th September for having a huge and efficient campaign on the social network. And the other thing is we are not so, we're not enough for facing those kind of population for now.
You said it, my friend. I also see the very same problem in Italy. Indeed, in a sense, we brought it to another level. There is a member of the previous government in Italy, you probably heard about it, which is called Matteo Salvini, which was the leader of a nationalistic party. And it's popularly known that a good part of his political basis is an algorithm called The Beast, that basically scans all the message of people either in favor or opposed to that particular political leader, and they use it also to make a predictable analysis. So they were posting content on social media that they are already confident that you will like it, and this proves how good they have become on using social media. So you don't tell me nothing new. It's a problem here also.
Yes, because in fact, it's, I'm not sure of that, but I think it's the nature of the message we have to transmit, because it's creating commitment for the people that read this message, but that's a negative commitment and it's strong, so it's easier to spread our message in the place where there is a lot of people against. And generally it's difficult to find people that are committed enough for the basic income with only some slogan from Nelson Mandela, for example. That's a huge difference from 2013 in France, and that's something we wasn't prepared to face. It's the fact that when we use some classical communication about income, a lot of people can answer about social policy answer. So the argument why not the same? We basic income give it's a caricature, a better word, the answer, yes. But if you use the tax more than the social contribution, you are gonna destroy all the building of the social security in France. So it's not the same way to communicate. And for the moment, we didn't find a solution.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sorry, Claudia.
Thank you very much, dear Claudia.
Yes, regarding community building, I've had a few experiences in that field, and it is a hard thing to do, but you kind of have to build your own community. You have to you can take a group that exists. For example, I've kind of retaken the group that is called Basic Income Guaranteed Canada. that had about like I think 500 people, and now I've done a bit of a cleanup in it, which is I've started moderating the people who were subscribing to the account. Previously, there was a lot of people that had like fake accounts, actually. So it's accounts that are a lot from India and from Africa that are probably bought by trolls. And so there isn't much in these accounts. You can only see the face of someone, and you can right away see that there isn't a lot of stuff in it, and not a lot of stuff public anyways. So it doesn't look like a real account. And so I could pretty easily skim through those and not let those in, and let only Canadians or people that were really implicated in the cause. And the quality of posting grows like steadily. I've done that in another group that was more related to another topic, other topics that were really different, and it works every time because it's really building a community. So if you let everyone in, it's not a community anymore. It's a public space, and it becomes like full of tags and graffiti pretty much. So so you need to clean up this. You need to moderate what's put on them so that nothing unrelated gets posted. Right now, conspiracy theory things are really raging, and you can get that everywhere. So you have to really look through. Another thing that is very important, in particular for Facebook groups, is to have a very clear description of your group. And if you say that this group is for advocacy of basic income, or promoting the the good information about basic income, then you then have the legitimacy to skim through the stuff right away, because it's written there that that's what you want. Yeah. So rules like that can help to build up a good community. Like this community that I'm talking to has doubled really fast. So I've tried it several times, and it's a way that can help with having a better community, a community that is dedicated to the topic instead of just random Joes that want to pollute it. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Dear friends, unfortunately, it is 9:02 according to Central European Time, and I know many of our friends will join to another meeting. That's why we are going to finish today's labor here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michele. And let me share the screen once again regarding the future.
Hope it was worth your time.
Pardon?
Thank you very much. Hope it was worth your time.
Michele, it was very important.
Thank you, Michele.
Very beneficial. We will be waiting for the procedure, how to use these ideas in our countries. I mean, if you can write very simple, very short, maybe few lines, it will be great.
Okay, no problem. I will do shortly in a few days. They will share them either with you or directly with the advocates group.
Yeah, directly with the advocates group, it will be much easy so that everybody can receive it. Dear friends, so our next meeting will be in November, 16th of November, and our guest will be dear Enda Schmidt, and his topic will be lessons learned from Swiss referendum for UBI. By the way, I would like to ask something. Is there any friend who is here but is not a member of the Google groups? Because if you want to receive the presentation of our friend Michele, we can send it to you. Please write your email addresses to the chat box. I mean, if you are not in the email group, but the email group members already received the presentation.
Okay.
Dear Angel, dear Klaus, dear Willem, we are very sorry that we are late for 4 minutes.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Michele. Nice presentation.
Very much. Bye.
Remco Peters. Okay, I will send to you by email. I will forward the mail from Michele. Thank you,
Okay,
Remco.
I will, okay. So
Can I say one more thing to Claudia? Dear Claudia, I understand that you will prepare a kind of YouTube list. Am I correct? Oh, okay, so it will be, maybe you can share it so that others can also use it.
Yeah, definitely. I will. I'm doing a playlist right now, and I'm gonna. Yeah, it's a specific thing on YouTube that is called playlist, and I'm gonna put a link to it in the group, in the chat group. Is that good? In the
Sure.
Google group.
Sure. Sure,
I will
please.
share the link.
Yeah.
Okay. And one last thing regarding Michele's presentation, he made a more detailed presentation during the meeting of the worldwide meeting of UBI Advocacy and UBI networks. If you like, you can see it from the YouTube also. Am I correct, Michele? It was more detailed, maybe certain parts.
in certain parts, yes. I know it was a shorter presentation. We had a bit less time, so I focus on the future more than to the present and past.
Yeah, but it was okay. The methodologies, there were some interesting methodologies during your previous presentation too.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
I basically delve more into the scheduling post procedure. You can fill the gap by watching a dedicated tutorial anyway.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, we have two friends with emails in the chat box. I will send them right now.
It's been enjoyed.
Good evening, Dan.
Good evening.
Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are.
Bye.